Hi, and welcome backstage to Broadway Alaska, where we're getting ready for the exciting performance of Mean Girls. I'm Cody Costello, President and Chief Operating Officer of Alaska Center for the Performing Arts and General Manager of Broadway Alaska, and I am so excited to be with you here today. Did you know that there's more than 4,000 miles between the Broadway Theater in New York and the Alaska Center for the Performing Arts here in Anchorage? That's a long way to go, but worth every mile to bring Broadway Alaska to you. Bringing Broadway to Alaska requires careful planning, teamwork, and of course, a bit of showbiz magic. First up, logistics. Set pieces, costume, lights, and sound equipment all have to be carefully packed and shipped. Sometimes that means loading up trucks. That's what happens in the lower 48. When things move here to Alaska, we also have to add in planes and even ferries to cross land, air, and sea. Once everything arrives, the crew gets to work rebuilding the set, prepping the space, and organizing the costumes and props for easy access. Meanwhile, cast members rehearse to adjust to the new stage and ensure every seat has the best view. Getting Broadway to Alaska is definitely not easy, but when the lights go up and the show begins, it's all worth it. So next time you're in the audience, remember it took an entire journey and a lot of people to bring Broadway to you. I don't know about you, but I've been waiting in anticipation for this show. I've always loved the movie, so it will be so fun to watch the characters in the show come to life on our stage. Let's meet some of the cast and crew to learn more about the show and how they got to where they are today. First, we have Mary Rose, who plays Karen Smith, who will share a bit about her background and what kindness means to her.
Hi, I'm Mary Rose Brendel, and I play Karen Smith on the Mean Girls National Tour, and I'm currently coming to you live from my dressing room. My whole life, I knew that I wanted to be an actor, so when I was younger, I started taking some local dance classes. I would do shows at my community theater, at my high school, at my middle school, whatever show I could get my hands on, I would be doing it and just doing as much theater as possible. And then when it came time to go to college, I decided that I wanted to get a degree in musical theater, so I went to Penn State University where I got my BFA in musical theater, and it was the best 4 years. They gave me so many tools that were necessary for me to learn how to become a professional performer. One of the big themes in our show is kindness, and it is super important to practice kindness on the road. It's a very difficult job for everyone touring with our company, and one of the ways I practice kindness for myself is by making sure I fuel before the show properly, making sure I get enough to eat, making sure I get a full night's sleep, because it's so important and it's easy to lose track of that on the road. And the way I show kindness to others is that I give a lot of grace. We are constantly moving, we are not sleeping as much as we should, and traveling. So, you know, when little mistakes happen, there's no reason to get super upset over them. We give grace because the next day it'll be you. So I try to be super understanding and also just friendly with everyone.
What great advice and reminders. Giving others grace is so important because, like Mary Rose said, there are days we'll need grace too. Next, we have Taylor, the assistant company manager, who will share a bit about their background and what confidence and kindness means to them.
Hi, my name is Taylor Paris, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I am the assistant company manager on the Mean Girls National Tour, and I went to school for theater management. My favorite character in Mean Girls is hands down Karen Smith. I think she has the funniest lines in the show and in the movie that the show is based on, and just her charisma and overall character arc is something that really I can relate to in some aspects, and she's just a lot of fun. My tips for being confident: always be positive, as best you can, and look for, the light in more difficult situations. I think that's brought me a long way. Of presuming an outward confidence, of always checking in with people, and another big thing about being confident is knowing your self-worth. You have to know your self-worth in order to give the best version of yourself to people. And then lastly, I always try being kind and supportive to all of my company members by just first and foremost, putting a smile on someone's face. I think that's, the most important thing I try doing, whether it's cracking a joke or asking them an icebreaker question or just simply checking in if I haven't seen them in a while, or if it's just, passing through the hallway asking how their day is going.
Thank you, Taylor. Knowing your self-worth can be so hard, but one of the best ways to stay confident and kind. Let's meet one more member of the show.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name's Jake Williams. I'm the head of the properties department for the Mean Girls National Tour. Basically, all the handheld props, set dressing, the burn book, Paltine bars, everything that you know and love from the movie and the show, that's all under my domain. Keeping everything pretty, keeping everything nice, mapping out the actors, handoffs, and everything that they use in a scene. Properties, as you know, are handheld objects that aid in the storytelling. And that's kind of what I do. I put such specific detail and care into my work and my props. Not necessarily because the audience will see it and buy into it, but personally, I like to put the very specific touches on it so the actors feel more like they're in the world of the play, because really at the end of the day, we're trying to give them as least resistance as possible so they can focus on giving the audience an excellent show. I got into this industry actually going to college for acting, and then I would work in technical theater at nights on weekends. There was always jobs that I could find, even if it was just beginning as a PA or something like that. And after I graduated school, I would audition during the day, and then I would keep the same technical work schedule. So it worked out. My biggest advice if you're looking to get into the industry is go to school for it. Go to college. It's a good way to meet people your age with similar interests. And when you all go on into the world, it's just excellent to have those connections already built in. Lastly, if I had any tips for being confident in this industry, it would be listening more than you talk. If you're working with someone who's more experienced than you, I would recommend just finishing up the task and making yourself available for the next thing. If somebody has to worry about the big picture stuff, everything that's going on, you don't know, maybe they're exhausted, the last thing that they want to do is kind of like have to crack the whip and find people to do a task that they need done right now. Just find them, make yourself available, and if you stay busy or look busy, it'll take you a long way. Thanks so much for the interest in the show. I hope you guys get a chance to see it in Anchorage. And again, my name's Jake, and bye.
Thanks for joining me and some of the cast and crew of Mean Girls. So often when people think of Broadway, they only think of the actors on stage. So we hope today you learned that there are many career paths in the performing arts. Whether you're on stage or backstage, maybe there's a career that's interesting to you. We also hope that you got a little taste of the lessons in Mean Girls about being kind and confident. Whether it's on stage or in real life, Mean Girls reminds us that kindness and acceptance matter. And bringing this story to Alaska means sharing that message with our community. So, from Broadway to Anchorage and beyond, thank you for joining us. And remember, you're never too far away to be part of something amazing, and kindness is always worth sharing. We'll see you at the theater.